Surprise, motherfucker! What's up? This is your friendly neighborhood, Venger Satanis. It's been that squeaky chair. I gotta get that oiled or something. I still gotta do an unboxing video for this guy, and that's gonna come shortly. I've just been busy with real life stuff. But as I also I'm preparing for GaryCon because that is this next weekend. And very much looking forward to that. I'm running a whopping 6 games. I don't know why I did that to myself. But yeah, I'm running 6 games this year, and so yeah, that should be really cool and fun. Hope everybody has a good time. I'm sure they will. But this video is about my little cheat sheet here. Is about story gaming versus traditional RPGs. Now, this is a topic that kind of like circulates and bubbles up on social media from time to time. But it kind of came to the fore again when the RPG Pundit was making some video about Dagger Heart. Yeah, that was it. And calling it story game trash. And I can't dispute that. It probably is. However, as a design school, I don't think that we should completely just like throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to story games, story gaming. I have been able to excavate or mine several I would say interesting and beneficial things from that movement. And for me personally, and what I love, it's the way forward. For the last several years, I've been infusing my game with things that you can attribute to the story gaming design school, and my games have never been better for me, and I assume my players, because nobody's complained, and they all seem to be enjoying themselves. I mean, they tell me that they're enjoying themselves, and yeah, it's been great. It's been some of the best gaming. It has been. I'm not even going to qualify it. It's been the best gaming of my life. And so yeah, let's get to it. I've made a list of 3 things that we could totally either do without from story gaming, or a way to synthesize the good things of story gaming, and then hopefully reconcile traditional versus story and get the best of both worlds, because that's what we're aiming at. Okay, to start with, remove all the democratization, leftism, and just the politics in general. I know what story gaming, one of their principles is to take away the centralized authority the game masters have. I can see why they want to do that, but I don't think that's a good idea, and I don't think that's just a winning proposition for role-playing games. I feel like it needs some sort of authoritarian structure, not as in you don't want the game master to be like tyrannical or oppressive, or just a total jackass that doesn't listen at all to his players one little bit. But on the other hand, you don't want to take away from the game master's power and authority, and he should be the master of the game. He's the king of the castle, and really the god of the game and the campaign setting and everything else. So yeah, get rid of the anti-authoritarian leftist garbage. Number 2, for as much as story gamers or traditional gamers who want to use story gaming bits and pieces. For as much as they want to manage the story from sort of a top-down view, like let's say you want a story. Let's say you're playing Ravenloft and you want a story that evokes a sense of like the early Universal horror, like black and white movies, and you want kind of like a tragic, gothic kind of narrative. That's okay, and you can do that. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to predetermine the ending or the decision points. You don't want to make the decision points that the players, through their characters, navigate. You don't want to make that a foregone conclusion. So before they even start talking to the old hermit or vampire or werewolf or whatever, you don't want that to be like, well, no matter what the players do, X happens. As soon as you start saying that, even in your mind, like, no matter what the players do or their characters, no matter what the PCs do, as soon as you start thinking those words, stop yourself. You've gone too far and you're going in the wrong direction. So you don't want a predetermined outcome for the end of the campaign or session, or those little points in between that make playing fun, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how the story is going to change. You can do like little micro managerial tweaks, like here and there, to sort of like, nudge things narratively, like this way or that. I think that's perfectly acceptable, and that's part of the game master's responsibility, as far as I'm concerned. But you don't want to say that's, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but yeah, you want to be like, well, in the end, the PCs win, or they lose, or, they lose the artifact, down the side of the volcano, or something like that. Because, until things happen and the players do their thing and the dice rolls are made, you don't know what's going to happen. That's part of the fun. So don't cheat your players, don't cheat yourself. Okay. Lastly, so player actions can and should affect gameplay. So not just character actions, but the player actions. But those player actions should always, I feel, be secondary. And the primary way for players, the people sitting around the table, to influence the game should be through their characters. That's like the main way to, that's what traditional role-playing games are about. If you want to do something in the game that will, affect the story, then as your character, you run up to the high priest and, I don't know, slap him in the face or something like that. That's a way of affecting the game world. But every once in a while, I like to elicit, I would say, suggestions from players, and if I like, or if they just volunteer something even without being solicited, I like to consider it for a second or two and think, is this cool? Will that work in the game without contradicting something else, which would ruin immersion or nullify something in my notes that's going to happen later. So yeah, player actions, like, oh, what if when that when he pulls that switch and the weather dominator goes haywire, what if the sky turned purple or something like that? I maybe I'll give it a 2 in 6 chance, or maybe I'll just say on the spot like yes, or maybe I'll say no. But I like to have that feedback every once in a while, And I have rules in my game through things like the Gilded Eye of Satanis and Chult X cards. And there are a few other things in either Advanced Dragon Slayer, Advanced Crimson Dragon Slayer, or like Chult, or things I have on my blog, or supplements that allow the player to have a little bit more input in the story and affect the narrative flow to an elevated degree than you would normally find in a traditional RPG. So that's something that I do, something that I like to encourage. But at the same time, I don't want the players to, relegate me, the game master, off to the side where they just kind of like, spin their own yarn, and and I have no control, or I have nothing to do with the game. At the end of the day, I am the game master, and I'm in charge of the game. And I make sure it runs, and I describe the world, and I role play the characters, like the NPCs and the monsters and such, and I roll the dice for the things that the players don't know about, and I need to have the authority, the power to do all those things, to have a free hand with the management and creation and continuation of the entire world, the universe, multiverse. But at the same time, I like it when there's little things that players can do to add their touches to the overall story. I think that's just a positive win for everybody at the table, for themselves, for me, the game in and of itself, the other players sitting across from them. And that's gone really good. So yeah, if you want to talk about this, comment down below, or we'll chat somewhere, maybe on my blog, or on a forum, or just social media like Twitter, X, whatever, or Facebook. Because every once in a while, I see these things pop up, and I know there's a natural reaction from traditional gamers, RPGers, to just want to like block out every bit of story gaming nonsense that comes across their screen. But it's not all bad. There are bits and pieces of it that I think can enhance my game, your game. So, yeah, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Keep in mind those 3 techniques, or just things to be wary of, and see how it goes for yourself. If you want to just dip your toe in, there are little things you can do. Obviously, I would suggest picking up the very free and very awesome Advanced Crimson Dragon Slayer rule set, because that will give you a leg up to implementing subtle first steps in introducing story gaming into your traditional RPG. So, having said that, I hope you have a great week, this being Sunday. And maybe I'll see you at GaryCon. That'd be cool. And if I do, or even if I don't, I hope I will see you at VengerCon 3, Revenge of the OSR. That is this July in Madison, Wisconsin. Maximum 100 attendees, but probably, that's optimistic. I don't think we'll get 100, but we'll probably get somewhere between, I would say, 50 and 70. So I think the sweet spot will be around 60. If we can get 60 attendees, that'll be great, because we'll have lots of games going, and there'll be even more variety and people to game with, and hang out and talk and get to know, and also explore and expand and experience the amazing wide array of games that fit under the old school OSR and traditional role-playing games that are out there. I consider, since OSR is kind of a renaissance, my stuff, I still consider OSR. I could still consider, everything from like Chult and Alpha Blue and Advanced Crimson Dragon Slayer and, myriad other things. I still consider all that OSR. The Renaissance is still happening. It's still alive. The OSR isn't dead. And it's all slowly coming together and ebbing and flowing. And obviously there are different factions and fragmentation of movements and design schools and play styles and games, subcultures, etc., which is great. But the weird, hardcore, fun-loving, casual, but also super serious and passionate about RPGs. I don't think you'd find another audience or convention attendees like the ones at VengerCon. So I definitely want you to come game with us and experience the awesomeness for yourself. So that's enough for me, and yeah, that's it. Bye.